We've got a good one here. We've marched and rallied for democracy. What have you been doing?
Right.
Money to Israel, that's what you've been doing.
Right after this all started, one of the worst things that happened right after that we. All right.
Congressman, you can continue.
Okay. All right. I'll just try to continue here. I hope that people are able to hear me. Well, the first thing I did, I'm just trying to remember that you're talking probably about protests and things like that. Outside the Treasury, when Elon Musk gave access to all of the of our private information of the Treasury payment system, then that is a.
Is willing to condemn what happened.
Sir, we will get to that question. If you could please just wait a moment.
Yeah,
we're
going
talking
to get to a
about
lot of
something
these
else.
questions.
Thank you.
If we have some order.
Well, Israel just started bombing children again. They just broke the ceasefire. This is an immediate question. This is one that can't wait.
Congressman, if you'd like to answer this question.
Yeah, okay, and so let's say, I'll just try to go through that. So there was a rally outside the Treasury that said, get Elon Musk picking hands off of the Treasury payment system. I am the lead Democrat in the subcommittee with oversight over all banking, and when you mess with the Treasury payment system, that is a mortal threat to our financial system, and that was a big deal to me immediately. And later on, when the Department of Education was threatened, I was one of a big group of members of Congress who showed up at the door demanding a meeting with the acting head of the person put in charge to say, okay, are you really going to shut this down, really? And they wouldn't meet with us, and there was an interesting large group of people there. More recently, I was honored to speak at the Stand Up for Science rally at the Lincoln Memorial in front of the Lincoln. What was significant there is that you saw Democrats and Republicans. You saw Fred Upton, who was in charge of the most relevant committee, a Republican, retired. They're speaking passionately in support of science, and it's obviously a big deal with me, because the long-term damage that's done when you defund science in this country, it's something I've been fighting for a long time. So I do a certain amount of that, and also a certain amount of just trying to talk quiet sense to my Republican colleagues, and try to identify those that have a core of decency. And you see that from time to time. Sometimes it shows up by, okay, I've had it with today's Republican Party, I'm out of here. You saw it with Mitt Romney or Adam Kinzinger, when they just say, okay, that's it, I'm done. It also shows up from time to time when they're willing to stand up. Senator Tillis, actually gave a very, very impassioned speech on behalf of the Ukrainians. On the floor of the Senate, he had pictures of slaughtered Ukrainians that were slaughtered by Russian troops, and said, what the heck are we doing here? And from time to time, you'll see this bubble up to the surface, and he was taking a risk doing that. All right, and my hope is that as this goes on, more and more Republicans will be thinking about that. I'm trying to do with some of my time, just privately talk to them. One of the things I'm working on with other members of the Financial Services Committee, Republicans, is that there is $300 billion of frozen Russian assets, most of it in Belgium, but other places in Europe, some in the United States, and that money should be turned over, taken away from Russia, and given to Ukraine to rebuild Ukraine. There's motion along that. It was not moving fast, but when Donald Trump decided he was going to vote against Ukraine in the United Nations, and with all the bad countries you can name, that put a shock into the soul of the civilized world. And that was all right, so we do the next.
Okay.